Once you've disconnected that connector, you could kind of loosely put this back in place. So then now you're able to close your door if you have to without damaging that plug. For the bottom kick panels here, just get your fingers in behind and in there, and then just pull this straight out, and you'll see your two clips, one here and one there, and that's all that's holding that in on both sides. And then in behind that kick panel, we see that we've got another, looks like a 13 mil, and in here, so we're disconnecting the control here, and so you have two screws. So there's one here, and then there's another one right there. So we take those out. There's a vacuum connector here that's just unplugged. There is electrical plug right here. And then for these two cables, there's a cable here, another one underneath, if you can see that metal pin. And there's these clips that go in there. So they'll clip in, and then basically all you do is you push the clip back, and they'll come out of there on their own. I found one on the floor over here. The other one, I don't know. I think we'll find that once we get the dash off, find out where that sprung to. But now that you got those clips off, you can manipulate these cables out of the arms that they're connected, and then you can take this off. So there's 4 screws holding in the radio. So you take those out, you pull this out. You've got the antenna connector. You've got this connector. This one here that goes in there. And then these two connectors, the gray and the black one. And once you disconnect all of those and this one, then this must be the ground. Once you disconnect the ground, then you should be able to remove the radio. Last is our little shelf tray in here. It's got the rear defrost and the cigarette lighter. 2 screws holding that, and you pull that out, and then you got these two to disconnect. Now we have this little bezel to remove, and you can get in from behind there to try and work it out. Careful not to break it, and you remove that, and you can see you have your 2 clips that were holding that in. And now we have 2 screws to remove, and that's our CD changer. So we'll remove that and then disconnect it. And also too, we found our missing clip. So this is where it ended up landing. So we'll put that back together for our heater control assembly. That CD changer just has the one connection to disconnect here and remove that. And then I think we've handled everything for the center. We've disconnected the electrical connectors on both doors over here. And unless I'm missing something, I think we could be ready to start removing the dash now. 10. I don't know if the glove box has to come out or not. I just took it off, just get some extra access to stuff if I need to, or see what's going on. And all that is just 3 screws on the bottom. You remove those, just unhook the latch there, and then easily manipulate that out of there. And now we could see in behind there if we need to for when we're removing this thing. Got a few more connections here. So down below, that's our antenna from outside to the inside the vehicle to the dash, to the radio. So we'll disconnect that. And then there's these 2 plugs up here to disconnect. I couldn't find anything over on that other side on top. We've got 2 10 mil bolts. These ones can't really see from here. This one here and one here. But if you come above, you can see it through the window. So there's 1, there's 2. So there's 2 10s. And then if we go down below here, we've got these 2 13 mil we're going to have these two 13 mil on the driver's side, and then we're going to have two 13 mil over here on the driver's side. There's one, and the other one is just on the other side there. So we have a total of 8 bolts to remove. 213 on top there, 210 right here, 213 down here, 213 over on the driver's side, and also 213 on the bottom. So everything looks like it's going all right. One thing that I forgot was there's a white plug that plugs into the back of this, and this wraps around and must go to the emergency brake or something. So this needs to slide out, and so therefore it needed to be unplugged, and that's the white plug there that we missed. And then other than that, I think all the factory wiring is good, but I've got these connectors here, which is for that command start. So I've got this one, and 1 or 2 plugs that go in there. And I think once I disassemble those, I'll be good. Also too, we have this wire that I got out of the way. Well, that goes up by the mirror, and that's the receiver for the command start, and it is fished in through our metal in here for the dash. So that looks like that's got to be snaked out of there too, or if the cord's long enough that we can maybe put the dash in the back and leave it like that. So this command start is preventing us from pulling the dash out, and the reason is they've taken these wires and they've spliced them in to these wires on the dash, and here's the rest of them here. So those are all spliced in, and we have almost all of the ones coming from this white plug here, and we've got a black coming from this one, and that red follows down to a switch in the kick panel, and then we have the green and white that are going to a ground on that screw. And if you can also see, we have this brown and white. Those are going out to on the other side of the firewall. And so that that brown and white that are coming out, this one here is the brown, and it's coming to our switch here for our hood switch. And then that white one is right here, and it is connected into basically our coil. So in order for me to get that dash out, I'm going to have to cut some wires, and the white and the brown seem to be the ones of least consequence, because I could put a splice in there, or a breakable connection is the answer here, so that we can remove the dash, and then if we have to, hook them back up. I don't think that the command start's actually being used, and I think it's got a few problems with it. I think the transponder's busted.